Yes, you are in bear country. We're at Grundy Park, and there's active bears in the campground, so follow all the regular rules, clean campsite, things like that.
Isn't necessarily dangerous, but it's not really afraid of us, and it'll come kind of too close for comfort for us. If you see one of these walk by your campground or through it, first see if it walks on by. You don't necessarily have to do anything, but if it sticks around, you want to make a bit of noise and kind of shout at it in a stern voice. Maybe wave your arms, and it'll probably scamper off. And you should just let the other campers around you know that there's a bear there. If you see a member of our staff in uniform, let them know that there's a bear there. We'd always like to know which campgrounds have bears walking around, and if they're a regular bear that's been coming around more than once. Okay. So not much of a danger there, but you should still remember those things. Now, the most common bear associated with people being hurt is a defensive black bear. What's the number one thing not to do with a defensive black bear?
Run.
Run. Absolutely not. Yeah, so, I mean, you're right. So don't run away from a black bear ever, because they can outrun you. There's no point.
Yeah.
And they might think that you're prey running away from them. So you don't want to run away. This is what a defensive black bear usually looks like. It'll give you a few clues that it's not comfortable with you being there, probably because it has a food source that it's trying to protect, like berries. So here's a defensive black bear that saw a person, and one of the first things it did was hunch its shoulders really big and wide, and it started making some jaw popping or clacking sounds, kind of like this. And sometimes they give a low-pitched grunt, like so huffing and puffing, grunting, making any noises actually. That could mean a defensive bear. Not really cool with you being there. So what you should do is just keep facing it and walk away slowly. And that bear will know that you're moving out of its turf, and it'll probably keep on feeding. Alright? Now, this is the most rare type of bear that you could encounter. And actually this year, one person in Ontario was killed by probably was a predatory bear up in northern Ontario, north of Georgian Bay. And what you should do with these bears, first you want to remember that these attacks are very rare. It's really, really unusual for a bear to think of us as food. Normally they're really afraid of us. But it has happened that a bear has looked at a person and thought of it as food and tried to capture the person. So with these bears, they're not going to run right at you, usually, at least not right away. They're not going to give all those warning signs. They're not going to do the huffing and puffing or the big shoulders or the jaw popping. They're going to probably walk towards you slowly and investigate you to try and kind of see if you're a threat or if they'd be able to take you down. What you want to do with these curious bears is just make as much noise as you can, wave your arms and clap, make noise with whatever you have, and that should get them to run away most of the time. What has happened though is they've gone up to people and attacked them. So if you're being attacked by a black bear, don't run away. Most people encourage you not to play dead with black bears. So what you should do is fight back as much as possible and convince that bear that you're not going to be something good to eat because you've got some fight in you. Alright. Hope I didn't scare anybody. Any means possible. Using your arms, maybe you could grab its nostrils. That's been successfully used to get a black bear to run away. Hitting it with sticks and rocks, that's worked too. So bear spray would be the best way. So you could probably make it run away even before it attacks you. Alright, but I just want you guys to remember that this almost never happens. And you're much more likely to be struck by lightning or die in a car crash than attacked by a bear.
Have a nice careful.
It's never happened in Grundy. Alright. So, typical view of a black bear. Running away. You get a nice view of its butt. And this is that female with those 2-year-old cubs that I showed you before. As soon as they heard the noise of the car driving over, they were gone. They just ran right away. Okay, if you're hiking in the back country, you might want to go in groups because that'll give you more confidence, it'll make you more comfortable, and you're pretty unlikely to be approached by bears if you're in a big group of people. You probably won't actually see any. And another thing that's important, not necessarily about seeing bears, but if you're around bears, just be aware of different signs of bears. So we looked at scat. If you see a trail that's a well-worn trail, and there's blueberry turnovers and raspberry jelly jams lying along the trail, probably not the best place to set up camp. You see these logs being ripped open or the tracks of bears, just remember it looks kind of like a Sasquatch, 5 toes and a big pad. Or something I didn't talk about, trees that have been scratched up. So those are territorial markings left by bears. So another bear sign that you should look out for. Okay, so tonight we looked at the amazing natural history of the black bear, one of Grundy's most popular and most feared critters. We saw that what makes a black bear tick is its quest for food, always trying to put on fat for the wintertime. Even they're so good at it, they can double their own body weight. And we looked at our interactions with bears, and I hope that after tonight, if you're afraid of bears, I hope I've given you a little more appreciation for this animal. And wow, that just flew right by my head. Well, I hope you have a bit better appreciation for black bears and some respect, because it's important to remember that it's us visiting bear country, and we're really visiting the black bear in its home, not the other way around. So thank you guys very much for joining me.
Okay. There's the Quincy. That is about 3 hours work. I'm now going to get up and stop on it, just so the layers are more. So it's going to take a little while to build, but I'll tuck in about another hour or so. And add more layers of snow. Okay. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling good? Did you feel more good? Like I realize I have. Okay, great. Cub. Mother and the cub, very dangerous combination. Stay far away.
Don't hurt the little bird.
Very dangerous situation, mama and cub. Let me film it, hold on.